Welcome home. This is Audio EXP for May the 24th, and the episode title is Towels and Time Travelers. FGG Games won the RPG Publisher Spotlight this month. The interview with head designer Don Eccles is up and live on the blog. And in the piece, Don explains why there's no AI involvement in FGG and why he does not think computer minds can match humans for creativity. And in that respect, we and Tori Struder took a bit of a gamble with the guest post why I introduced my daughter to D&D using ChatGPT. Tori's article is an honest write-up of an attempt to use an AI to stand in for a DM. Why? Well, life is busy, and finding time to prepare an adventure and run it can be challenging. Not wanting her daughter to miss out, Tori gave ChatGPT a try. And the conclusion is clear though, it was a fun 30 minutes. Controversial. I suspect we will be returning to this topic again and again over the next few months and years. Now here's another thing that we keep coming back to. Paradox is taking development of the World of Darkness back in-house, which applies to computer games, tabletop games and everything else. They've tried this before. This time though, it feels a more dramatic change. The company has said goodbye to some partners, and they're even saying goodbye to the World of Darkness as a publishing brand. In fact, they are bringing back White Wolf as the publisher. There are gamers today who will definitely not recognise the name, but for me and many others, it still has equity. I remember it fondly. And let's stay in the past for a little bit more. Do you remember Rift's Promise of Power? I don't, and I like the Rift world. Rift's Promise of Power was a computer game, and it launched on the N-Gage just before the N-Gage died. The N-Gage was Nokia's attempt to make a handheld gaming console. Palladium Books are calling it Rift's Promise of Power's The Lost Game, and they might not be wrong. And now they've teamed up with a publisher called TransPerfect, who will be crowdfunding a remake for the game. It will be targeted at PCs first, but if the crowdfunding goes very well, it could expand to consoles. If we move forward in time, but not quite to 2025, then you might remember a campaign setting called The Red Opera. It was a great looking Kickstarter run by Apotheosis Studio. And that's a name now tarnished. However, the creative talent behind The Red Opera was never the now controversial Apotheosis leadership. These creators are now together in an indie studio called Storyteller's Forge, and Geek Native has learned that they will be bringing The Red Opera back in 2026 as The Red Opera Reforged. I got that from co-founder of the Storyteller's Forge, Rick Hines, in a pre-UK Games Expo interview. He won't be there, but some of the team and the setting, the Black Ballad, will be at the show. And if the Storyteller's Forge is beginning to sound like a rather musical group with operas and ballads, then yes they are. That's exactly it. And while UK Games Expo is on next week, this weekend there's MCM Comic Con going on in London. Geek Native isn't there, although comic creator Dave Cook and friend of the blog is there and taking part in a Titan Comics panel. We also have a write-up of David Tennant, who is he of Good Omens, Jessica Jones and Doctor Who, in which he makes it clear that he probably was interested in playing Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. And do you know, I think he could have made that work. Did you know that David Tennant was in the horror Fright Night, the 2011 remake? The original Fright Night is pretty famous, but probably not as famous as the Return of the Living Dead. And I think the Kickstarter for that forthcoming TTRPG might be a little bit late, or maybe I've got my wires crossed on the start date. But Bronwyn has uploaded a video of herself with ghoulish eyes reading an excerpt from the book. I mean, just because the military is moving into parts of the hospital without explanation, there's no reason to be worried, right? Bronwyn also wrote up the out-of-the-blue decision by Sony to scrap PlayStation Stars, their loyalty program. I say it's out of the blue, but it kind of makes sense. If you have a PlayStation, then you're going to buy PlayStation games. And if not, if you have two consoles, I doubt the Star program affects your choice of platform or game at all. Ergo, the result is it's just a discounting scheme, isn't it? Nevertheless, taking things away from gamers is never an easy thing to do. And I bet people are annoyed. Now, we move from PlayStation and cyber shopping to cyberpunk and hacking. Inspired by the release of Nightpath's definitive edition of Enthromancy, their 5e powered cyberpunk game, I took an abstracted version of their hacking rules to make a widget on Geek Native. So, if you want a bit more fanfare than a dice roll for a hack, but you don't want to wait more than a few seconds, this widget has 3 questions to set the hack a skill and a challenge before rolling virtual dice, with some attempted ASCII art to make it all look a bit more dramatic. Before we get to outros, let me move forward in time again and do the present day. Sci-fi-ish DeLorean, the car company famous from Back to the Future, has an EV coming called the Alpha 5, and they have Patrick Stewart in an impressive ad campaign. It all looks very Star Trek-y, but I do wonder if they'll ruffle people the wrong way by using blockchain tech to run an auction for the waiting list for the car. And in bundles, we have N Publishing's Awful Cheerful Engine at the Bundle of Holding, and you'll be able to meet them at the UK Games Expo 2. There's also a double feature from Necrotic Gnome for Old School Essentials. On Humble, there's a mega bundle deal for the Savage Worlds Weird West setting, Deadlands. And lastly, May the 25th is Towel Day in honour of Douglas Adams, whom we should not forget. So happy Towel Day. There won't be a podcast next week, as I will be in the whirlwind of the aforementioned UK Games Expo. But follow us on social media for lots of updates from the event, and then when I get back, there'll be a catch-up podcast. Keep safe.